So here's the question, the first profound question. What kind of a world would you like to leave your daughter's generation?
That's a beautiful question. Seems like like you said, that's the kind of question we should all write down and think about for the next month and get back to each other with an answer. I've worked hard to try to develop that vision. It's interesting to have a vision of a world that's different than the one that we live in. And for me, that that profound question can be answered both in the affirmative and the negative, right? So, I think simply the closer I get into this and the more I try to feel it, the more I realize that there's only one vision. And it's the same vision that's been spoken for millennia through the prophetic voices. Just this morning, I was reading in Isaiah, and you read the prophetic archetypical voice bringing forth the heart of God about what the world should be like. And it all speaks towards that day when all the different things happen. And so the kind of world that I would like to leave behind for future generations is a world that's as close to heaven on earth as could possibly be, as close to the world to come as could possibly be, as close to a fully renewed and regenerated, healthy, flourishing, diverse, abundant world. And so what does that look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? During like, so let's just envision together. It's like, what would the water look like? The water would be flowing and it would be clean and it would be clear. And what would it not look like? It breaks my soul when I go for a walk with my daughter and we come across a polluted stream that we can't drink from, right? And the animals can't drink from it. So the water would be clean and clear. Um, what does it not look like? I was devastated this last year to learn that there was a study that went around the world and took rainwater samples from some of the most remote places on Earth and the cities and the country and even in the top of the Himalayas and out in Antarctica. And what they discovered was essentially every sample of pure rainwater coming from the sky on Earth was contaminated by toxic chemicals at 10 times the level the US regulatory agencies allow in the drinking water of its citizens. And every pure drop flowing from the sky now is contaminated. So the kind of world that I would want to leave behind is one that's been regenerated and cleaned up and renewed, one where the soil is healthy and abundant and flourishing with food, one where we've reforested, rewilded, where humans are living in regenerative harmony with nature and helping nature thrive for subsequent generations and not exploiting it. I'd love for her to live in a world where we were one under God. Right now, our world is totally fractured and divided. And we know that if our minds as individuals are fractured and divided, that we're insane. We know that as a society, if a house is divided against itself, it can't stand. So we see our world at war with conflicts all over. I would like to see her living in a world that wasn't the aftermath of the World War III we seem to be marching towards. And back to Isaiah, that's the imagery of people streaming to the mountain of God and learning the ways of God and then beating their weapons into tools of life, beating their swords into plowshares. I would like Emma to live in a world where people were kind to one another and loved one another. I would like her to live in a world of wisdom and truth where we were genuinely, with the fullness of our being, oriented towards and navigating towards discerning wisdom and truth in a community the best that we possibly could, and where we had liberated ourselves from all these corrupt religious and political and ideological fallacies that are gripping and tearing our society apart. It's in short, there's a word in scripture called shalom that speaks to, I think you sent me a text on this week. It basically speaks to the perfect fullness, wholeness, fulfillment, right relationship, the total renewal, regeneration, fulfillment, development, flourishing of all things in right relationship with each other and God. And something like that is, I think, the kind of place that we all long to exist in ourselves. And leave for our children and grandchildren.